Hello and welcome to TA for Traders. It's Monday the 2nd of October. I'm Nigel Croft. In this short video we'll be looking at the charts on the US dollar against the Japanese yen. What we'll see is that the dollar is right at the upper boundary of a downtrend on the weekly. Also on the weekly, the 50-week moving average has just crossed the 200-week. This is indicative of support, longer term support coming in for the dollar, which could be a change in the sentiment of the dollar, and it could move higher. In the short term as well, we'll see on the 4-hour that the dollar is progressively moving above the moving averages, and they're pushing the dollar higher. Let's look at those charts. So here we have the weekly, and you can see on here that I've drawn this downtrend line through the high of the week of the 2nd of Jan and through the high of the week of the 10th of July. And you can see that we're trading right up against this upper boundary. Still in the downtrend. If we can break above the trend line, it will then be confirmed by a move above the 114.50, which was the high of that 10th of July. Is that going to happen? Well, looking at the moving averages, they're all turning back up. You can see that the 50 and the 200 look as if they're together. I can actually confirm that with today's trading on Monday, the 50 has gone above the 200. 50 now trading at 111.86. The 200 111.79. So they have created a golden cross. Down below you can see the 20-week moving average is now turning. In a few weeks, 4 to 5 weeks, you'll see that moving up and moving back up through the 200 as well, and then that could really give the dollar a boost. But at the moment we are still in that downtrend, and be aware of that. Regarding momentum, that has picked up with the 4-week rally in the dollar. Presently at 56.46, so indicative of some positive momentum. And also the MACD, the short term, has just moved above the long term and above zero, so that's also flashing a buy signal. Moving on to the daily, and here you can see the resistance levels between 114 and 115 a little clearer. Obviously on this chart each candle represents 1 day's trade. The 20 has moved across above the 50, but unfortunately that was not a golden cross. The 50 was still moving down when the 20 crossed it, but despite that, it's still positive that they're both now moving upwards. You can see that there is positive momentum. The RSI is 63.72, and also the MACD above zero, short term above long term. So again, a positive sign there. The problem is this resistance. It could hold on the daily here. There's no real sign that it can get broken imminently. One would expect further trading, sideways consolidation as we hit the resistance. Let the moving averages catch up a bit, do a bit of messing around, and maybe the next time that the 20 crosses the 50, they'll both be moving up. Who knows? And that could give the impetus. You can also see from this daily that the 200-day moving average is now tracking down. So we need to hold above that for that to turn round again. But that's like turning round an oil tanker. It takes time. You can see how long it took to roll over. It will take the similar time to roll back upwards, so we're talking a few weeks there before we get the impetus to maybe break the resistance. On the 4 hour, however, it doesn't look so bad. We're above the moving averages. The 20 here did have a golden cross as it crossed the 50, but not as it crossed the 200. But the dollar is finding support from both the 50 and the 200 as it just edges higher. So I would say stick with it. Stick with the dollar whilst we're showing this formation on the 4 hour. Be aware of what's happening on the daily. So a slippage below the 50 on the 4 hour would break that, and have a look at it that way. The RSI is going sideways, but it is still above 50, 57.72, and likewise the MACD just going sideways, but they are above zero, and the shorter one is actually still above the longer. So still indicative of positive momentum. So it looks like it may hold above the moving averages for a little longer. But as I said, there is resistance at the 114, 115 level. Let's look at those support resistance levels that are key. And 27th September high 113.26, first resistance, followed by the 114.5 from the 11th of July, with supports coming in 112.72 and then 112.32. So this has been TA for traders, having a look at the dollar against the yen. The key takeaways from the video should be that we're at the upper boundary of an uptrend. Sorry, it's a downtrend. That I've written that wrong. The 50-week just crossed the 200-week in a positive movement on the weekly. Short-term resistance at 114, 115, and the 4 hour we're holding well above the moving averages on that. Many thanks for watching. Please remember these videos are for information only and are my opinions, and they're not meant as an investment recommendation.